Yeah, there's a question being asked. We explicitly added Selenium jars in Eclipse, but what about GRE system library? Look, whenever you create a project, GRE system library automatically comes in the project. You don't need to put it. GRE system library is the Java which is installed in your machine. Okay, I asked you to install JDK if you are having a 64-bit machine. This was because, hold on, I asked you to install JDK because at times if you are having a 64-bit machine and JDK is not installed, then Eclipse it fails to start. Okay, that's why I asked you to install JDK, right? So in Eclipse fails to start in many 64-bit machines if JDK is not installed. If you have a 32-bit machine, normal Java is okay. Fine. Okay. Right. So let's start. Right. I'll make a new class over here. Let's start with the concept of object-oriented programming. Fine. I'll create a class known as say phone. Okay. And okay, how to access class? It's already started. 1 hour is over, dude. Hold on. Join in. 1 hour left. Okay. So now this is the class which I created. Phone. Okay, and this class out here is blank right now, right? So I'll add few properties of a phone in this class. For example, say int price, string name. These are two properties of a phone. Okay, and this class has got no main function inside it. I cannot execute it. This is a standalone class with no main function. So now I'll make a new class called as say user or phone user, which will have the main function inside it, right? So yeah, Srividya, many of you might not face the issue if you are not having JDK, but some of the times people do face issue depending on the laptop configuration and all. So that's why I told if you have 64-bit machine, install it to be on the safer side. Okay. Now this is the phone user class and this is phone.java. Right. In phone user class, I am going to what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create object of phone class. Right. Phone has got two features, int price and string name, and it can also have functions like public void call. Okay, you can make a call or make call, right? Or a function like public void cut the call or like text. You can send a text with a phone, right? Now we can create the object of phone class over here. Phone class has got two properties and two functions, right? What you do is that you create new, you write like this, new phone. This is the syntax to create the object of a class, new, and then the name of the class. What happens in the memory when you do this? When you do this, Then inside the memory, hold on, an object is created. I'll write it here. Okay, that object will have all the features like price, name, make call function, and text function inside it. Okay, but you cannot access this object. If I make another function, then in the memory again the same thing will come up: price, name, then make call and text. Okay, another object will be formed with these properties, but you cannot access these objects. You have to write like this. You have to create a reference. Say phone P1 equals to new phone and phone P2 equals to new phone. So when you write like this, what happens is that you get a handle or you get a reference towards the object. P1 will point towards this and P2 will point towards this object. Each object will have its own set of properties. Like I can access them, I can write over here P1 dot name is iPhone and P1 dot price is 500, something like this, or P2 dot name is Nokia, P2 dot price is 400. Okay, right? The properties are same in the class phone. There is just one class phone having properties name and price, but by creating multiple objects of that particular class, I can give a different property to every object. Right. Suppose in phone.java in make call function I write system.out.println making call through and the name of the phone. Okay. Now in phone user I can call these functions as well. I can write p1 dot make call and p2 dot make call. So when p1 calls its make call and when p2 will call its own make call. When p1 call its make call, then make call will use this name, and for p2 make call will use the name of p2. Okay, so when you run this, making call through iPhone and making call through Nokia. Okay, this is the one making call through Nokia and iPhone, because over here in the make call function I am writing making call through the name of the phone. This is known as calling the function with the object. With P1 object I am calling the make call function. It prints the name of P1. If I call it with P2, it prints the name of P2. Right. Look, if you are not a very technical person and if you have never ever done coding and if you are finding it hard right now to understand this whole concept, okay, I would recommend you don't go for the training directly. If you want to learn Selenium and if you're finding this thing tough to understand, right, then don't go for the training directly. Buy the videos which I prepared, only buy the videos. You can learn from them and later on you can join the class by paying the remaining fee. So when you look at the videos first, give 20-25 days to the videos, and then you come to the class, you come there with a background and you understand it easily. Okay, so this is also one of the suggestions which I gave to many people, right? But anyways, if you are able to understand, then it's fine, right? If 70-80% of the things are going in your head, it's more than enough. With the recorded videos and all, you'll be able to grasp it. Okay, but if you're finding it very tough, then that's the advice from my side. Okay, so what I did, I created a class known as phone. I put some properties, put some functions inside it, and from phone user I created the objects, two objects of that particular class, and I am calling those objects. Right now, same thing is done in Selenium, but in Selenium everything is inbuilt. You don't have to make classes and then you have to create objects of those classes. All the classes in Selenium are inbuilt. You have to create the objects of all the inbuilt classes of Selenium. Okay, hold on, I'll tell you. You go to seleniumhq.org, then go to the documentation section, sorry, download section, and go to the Java docs. So these are all the classes which are inbuilt inside Selenium, and when you configured the jar files of Selenium in the project, all these classes they came into your project. Okay, so you have to make objects of all these inbuilt classes, right? You don't have to write your own class and then create the object of that class. Okay, I'll show you. Let me create a new class known as first WebDriver program with the main function. Okay, let's start with a simple class in this set of classes. Look, not everybody knows about all these classes. It is on demand, right? Suppose you are trying to do something you're not able to do, you can have a look at this API, right? So, like for example, there is a class known as Firefox Driver. Okay, this class is used to test your application on Firefox. Okay, you create the object of this class. You write here Firefox driver equals to new Firefox driver. You create the object of this class, or you just write new Firefox driver. This is how you create the object. Okay, it will throw you an error. This is because this class is somewhere inside these jar files and Eclipse is not able to find it. So you have to import this class from the libraries into your code. You have to import it. Okay, how to import it? Move your mouse over the error and you will get the option import Firefox driver. You click on this and this line will come up, import org.openqa.selenium.firefox.firefox driver. This class is imported and error is gone. I'll again repeat, move your mouse over this error and you can import it. Or you simply hit Ctrl Shift O of your keyboard. It is a shortcut to import. That is, you use this a lot if you're using Selenium to an advanced level. Ctrl Shift O will import everything in one go. Okay, now when you run this program, you will see that a blank Firefox window has opened. You cannot do anything with this window right now. To control this, you have to write Firefox driver equals to new Firefox driver. So this becomes the handle. It is just like writing phone p1 equals to new phone. Okay. Similarly, Firefox driver say f equals to new Firefox driver, and on the next line you can call the functions which are there inside the Firefox driver using this object. Like we were calling the functions inside or the variable inside the phone class, right? p1.name, p1.price, p1.makeCall, right? Similarly, if I write over here Firefox driver f dot, you will get a huge list in front of you. There are many features present in this class. Okay, for example, taking a very simple thing like get, and you supply the URL where you want to navigate. Okay, suppose I want to go to any website, say http ebay.com. Now there's another thing, another catch over here. Don't forget to mention the protocol. Many times people write just ebay.com or www.ebay.com. This will fail. This will throw an error. It is mandatory to give the protocol. Okay, when you run this, you see that it opens eBay, right? Now don't do this mistake of not mentioning the protocol. This is a very simple mistake, but people go crazy. What is happening? Selenium is not working. If I don't give the protocol, it simply opens the browser and fails. See, it opens the browser, and after that you will get an error message. Now whenever you get an error message like this, don't get worried. Okay, read it. Read the first line carefully. It shows that NS error malformed URI. This is the error code. That means your URL is not correct. Okay, so you can just have a look at the URL and it will strike your mind that I should be adding the protocol here. Right. Similarly, you have got other drivers as well. Like you have driver like for Chrome, you have another driver class known as Chrome driver. Okay, if I try to use this, if I write over here, I'll comment these two lines. Double slash means commenting, making them ineffective. Okay, I'll write Chrome driver C equals to new Chrome driver. You create the object of the Chrome driver class and import it. Chrome driver, hit Control Shift O of your keyboard and Chrome driver will be imported. Control Shift O. Okay, and when you run this in almost all your machines, you will get this error: illegal state exception. Okay, hold on, there's a question being asked. Yeah, actually Firefox creates its own profile and opens up the browser, Rahul. I will talk about that. It is open in a different mode, yes, I know that. I'll talk about that as we proceed. Okay, that's known as a profiling concept. It creates its own profile, right? Do we need to have these browsers installed? Yes. If you want to use these drivers, browsers should be installed on your machine. Okay. Now, in case of a Chrome, you get this illegal state exception, and the message says the path to driver executable must be set by the webdriver.chrome.driver system property. Now, don't get confused with this error. A very simple solution is there for this error. You have to download a separate driver executable for Chrome. Go to this download section of seleniumhq.org and scroll down. You will see third party. Hold on. Yeah. Third-party browser drivers not developed by Selenium guys, basically Selenium HQ. Now Google developed the extension for Chrome so that WebDriver works on Chrome as well. Similarly, Opera guys, they have developed their own extension so that WebDriver will work on Opera as well, but WebDriver works very badly on Opera. They have not made it very properly. So Selenium guys, whosoever made Selenium, they provided Chrome driver, but the owner of Chrome, which is Google, has given us an exe file which has to be included with Chrome in order to work with Selenium. I'll tell you how to do that. In some time you'll come to know. You go to the download page over here and download the zip file corresponding to your operating system, whether it is a Windows or Mac or Linux. Fine. I have already downloaded it and I have it in my system. It's over here, Chrome driver.exe file. This is the one. You extract the zip file after downloading it. You'll get this exe. Don't run this exe. You'll not get anything from running this exe. Okay. So to work with Chrome, you need to have this exe on your machine and you need to have Chrome installed. Right. And now you give a line in your code before initializing Chrome driver. You have to write, you have to set a system property, system.set property webdriver.chrome.driver and give the path of your Chrome driver exe file, that is gdrive chrome driver.exe. Okay, give the path of your exe file, set the system property, then initialize Chrome. Now if you run this, see that it opens up Chrome. It opens up a little differently. Something data colon text is written over here. This is your content string. Okay, and if you write on the next line c.get to a URL, say http gmail.com, then normally like Firefox, Chrome will also navigate to Gmail. Okay, to work with Chrome, it means that you need to download the Chrome driver exe and you have to set it inside the system path. Right? Any questions from anybody till now? Here system is an object of which class? Yeah, system is default class. Okay, I'll tell you. Right, now I'll tell you, hold on. In your phone user.java, I had created these two objects. Phone p1 equals to new phone, right? And this was my phone.java class. Technically, these two variables are known as non-static global variable. Okay, and technically this function is known as non-static function. This one as well. Now suppose if I create a variable called static int number keys equal, what happens? What is the difference in static and this? This is technically known as static variable and this is non-static variable. What is the difference between static and non-static? Okay, the difference is that in your phone user class, I create two objects of the phone class. Okay, it looks something like this in the memory. Hold on. two objects of the phone class, right? Each object had its price, name, make call, and text function, right? Similarly, this object will also have price, name, make call, and text. But if you keep a variable static, like I'm creating num keys as static, okay, then in the memory this thing will go and it will be stored at a separate location. Num keys, it will be common for all the objects. Static is something which is common for all the objects, okay, right? And just a minute, right? So static is something which is common for all the objects. All the objects can use. Okay. Now over here, if I want to access num key, it's not mandatory to access it with object. I can directly write phone dot num keys equals to 10. There are 10 number keys on the phone. So for all the objects, automatically number keys will become 10. So static can be accessed directly with the name of the class dot the static property, or if I have a static function like public static, every charge has a property, say recharge. You have to recharge the battery, right? Okay, so this is technically my static function, and if I have to call this, I have to call this with the name of the class phone dot recharge. Okay, right? So this phone dot java class over here has got static functions, non-static functions, static variable, non-static variables. Non-static variables can be accessed with the object. Over here I have to create the object and access it. Static variables can be accessed directly with the name of the class dot the variable. Static stuff is common for all the objects. I hope this is clear. Now when you come to WebDriver, when you write system.setProperty, what is system? System is a class, internal class, and setProperty is a static function. If you move your mouse over it, you will get it. It is a static function inside the system class. That's why you can directly write it system.setProperty. Okay, you don't have to create the object. But if you have to work on Chrome, you have to go to a browser and all, you have to create the object of Chrome driver and then go. If I write Chrome driver dot, I will not get anything right now. Hold on. In case of Firefox, I'm sorry guys, I am online on Skype and a lot of other people are also pinging me. Just hold on. 30 minutes please. Right. So in case of Firefox driver, okay, if I write Firefox driver dot, you will see lot of static properties inside this class, like accept untrusted certificates. This is for testing HTTPS websites and all, for handling certificate errors and all. So we'll talk about them, but what I want to say is that in Firefox driver, whatever is the static property, it can be accessed by creating the object of that class. But all the non-static properties, sorry, I said the other way around. In Firefox Driver, all the non-static properties, they can be accessed by creating the object of the class. These all are the non-static properties. But for the static properties, you'll have to write the class name dot this. Any questions in this? Any question? Yes, system class came through GRE. It is part of Java language. When you write system dot out dot println, this is a part of Java language, right? System is the class in which out is a static variable. Okay, this is used for printing. System class is from Java. It is available by default in the program, right? So, okay, now this is how I create Chrome driver. Or for example, giving you another good example, I'll create a new Java class known as conversions. You'll have to do this frequently when you're working with Java. For example, you have a string s equals to 400 and you have int I in which you have to put the value of s. You cannot equate it directly like this. Okay, you cannot write int I equals to s. Okay, because this is a string and this is an integer. So you have to convert the string to an integer. To convert the string to an integer, there is an internal class in Java known as integer. You'll have to use this a lot. Integer dot, the function is parse int. Integer is a class, internal class. Parse int is a static function inside it. I'm sorry, right? Static function is there called parse int inside the integer class. So when you write integer dot parse int and you type in s, then this 400, this function parse int converts the string to an integer. Okay, so when you run this, it runs successfully. That means its conversion has been done. No output because we have not printed anything. You use this very frequently because how do I explain you? For example, you have a website. Okay, on that website you are automating using Selenium, and some number is written over here. Suppose you buy something online and you are automating a e-commerce based website. On that it is written price is rupees 400 or 4000. So when you extract this price from the page, this price comes inside the code as a string. Okay, it never comes as an integer directly. Whenever you read a number from an application, a number always comes as a string. This holds true for all the automation tools. Even if you have studied QTP, in QTP as well, if you read a number from an application, the number always comes as a string. In RFP as well, it comes as a string. In Selenium as well, it comes as a string. So these conversion functions, they are very helpful. Okay, or the other way around. If I have a string, if I have an integer, int x equals to 100, I want to put the value in a string. The other way around, string x s equals to x if I have to write. Then you have to use the function string dot value of to convert x to a string, to an integer. Okay, string is the internal class and value of is a static function in that class. You can directly call it and pass over the integer. It will be converted to a string. This might not look so relevant right now, but when you actually make projects, it becomes very relevant. Even data, your test data, if it holds a number, fine, and that number is being read from an XML file or an Excel file or a text file, then that number is always read as a string. You have to convert that number into an integer if you have to perform an operation. Okay, so I'll always remember, whether you are reading a number from the application or you are reading a number from a file, that number will always be read as a string, and you have to then convert the number to an integer or something. Okay, fine. Now let's go to WebDriver where we had left it. I told you how to work with Firefox. I told you how to work with Chrome, right? Now how to work with IE. Working with IE is similar to working with Chrome. You have to go to the Selenium website, and over here you have the Internet Explorer driver server. Okay, this is made by Selenium guys itself. They have made it. Okay, and you can download this exe. Similar to Chrome, you have the exe for IE as well. Depending on depending on your IE, whether your IE is 32-bit or your IE is 64-bit, you have to download it. Okay, I have a 32-bit IE. I'll download this one. I already have it with me. This is idriver.server.exe. idriverserver.exe. You have to write over here system.setProperty webdriver.i.driver, and you have to give the path of exe. That is it, gdrive. In Java, when you give the path, you have to give double slash. Okay, and you create the object of Internet Explorer driver. Now I am using a server operating system. I have i6 on my machine. Unfortunately, to take the class, I use the server operating system. You import the iDriver as well. Okay. Now in case of Windows 7 or Windows 8, you have to do one more configuration. Okay, you have to bring the protected mode in i8, 9 or 10, whatever I you are using, to the same level. Just go to Google, right? To work with iDriver, you have to first, what you have to do is that first you have to fix the protected mode settings in IE. You have to do that, otherwise your IE will throw an error. Okay, go to Google and just type say turn off protected mode in i8, i9, whatever it is. You'll get the link over here from some help forum, and you go. It's not necessary to turn off. Generally, I recommend to turn it off. You have to bring it on the same levels. Like this is the image. Okay, there are 4 tabs: internet, local internet, trusted and restricted sites. Okay, all these 4 tabs will have this cursor. This cursor for all the 4 icons: internet, local internet, trusted sites and restricted sites. This cursor should be at the same level for all these 4. Okay, I tell them that fine, turn it off simply. Okay, or bring it at the same level for all these 4. Right, this is the first setting. Then second is that you have to add the driver and then simply create the object. When you run this, my i6 will open up. It runs as a proxy on some port. This is the initial page of WebDriver server. It will be written. Okay, if I write over here I dot get and do mention the protocol, and you run this, so this will go to Gmail. Right, I am having i6. It's the worst browser, everybody knows, right? So Okay. Right. So any questions from anybody till now? Any questions? Anything regarding the course, regarding the content, regarding anything, how we'll be going about, and if you have not understood anything, right, please feel free to ask. Right. There's a question being asked. um, what if like I get the videos? This is the basic question which is being asked. Well, the thing is, you can go for the videos if you want, and if you want, you can go for the class as well. Class is little interactive. On the videos, it's more like a self-learning curve. Videos are good. I don't deny the fact they are cheap and they are also better than class. They contain a lot of information, but you have to be a self-learning kind of a person, right? But ultimately, I also know that all the people attending online training, they learn from videos. Okay, so that's the thing. All the browsers supported by WebDriver, Chrome and Firefox are the primary drivers supported by WebDriver. Question is being asked whether all the browsers are supported. Look, I'll tell you. You go to the documentation and I'll tell you the total number of drivers. Hold on. These are the drivers. Android driver, Android WebDriver. These are for Android. Okay, you cannot test your Android based application with Selenium. If you want to test how your website is opening in your phone, Android phone, then you can do it. Okay, you cannot automate mobile applications. You can only automate your website and you can check how it is working in Android. Okay, in the pre-recorded videos which I will be giving you, the last 43rd module is on Android itself. Okay, hold on, it's all configuration, it is not something technical, Android and all. Once you know WebDriver, you know Android as well. If I'm able to create the object of Internet Explorer driver and open Internet Explorer in Android, all you need to do is that you need to create the object of Android driver. But there are a lot of configurations involved. Okay, settings are involved. Alright. So in my site, if you look at the last module, it's about Android driver itself. Okay. Now the other drivers which are there are Safari driver. It was lately introduced. It's a Safari browser, but I've tried using it. Some things they don't work. Like for example, pop-up management was not working. If you want to manage multiple windows with one session, one Selenium session, this was not happening. Okay. Then you have iPhone driver, iPhone simulator driver. These are also there. HTML unit driver. It helps you to run it the headless mode. I'll tell you about this later on. Right. So there are various drivers. Right now, the official browsers which work good are Chrome and Mozilla. Okay. Yeah, that's the next question. What is interface WebDriver? I'll answer this. Okay. Now the thing is, I have different classes for every browser. So does that mean that every browser will have its own set of functions? Does that mean that if I have to perform a click on Chrome, it will be different than performing a click on or performing a click on Firefox? No, it's not like that. Okay. Out here, the concept of interfaces in programming language, in Java language, in object-oriented programming language, there is a concept of interfaces, right? That concept comes into the play and that saves us. Okay. So in tomorrow's class, I don't have enough time to tell you about interfaces right now. I need time. Okay. In tomorrow's class, I'll tell you what an interface is, how interface WebDriver works. Okay. So I'll tell you in tomorrow's class. Okay, what interfaces are. So any questions from anybody? anything. How do I join the training? You didn't talk about setting up. It's the same way, Javed. You just have to download the jars, okay, and import in Eclipse. That's it. There's no other rocket science. Okay. So hold on. I have on Android, Muzaffar. I don't have on iPhone or iPad. I need a license for it, which is very expensive, right? For iPhone and iPad, you need a license. For how many total classes? Look, that's what I told you. I'll take at least 5 weekends. At least 5 weekends. It can jump up to 6 as well. All right. And timings would be the same. Yes, timings will be the same. No, Prakash, I don't have on JBehave as of now. I don't have it. Okay, right. But it's similar to Cucumber itself. I have on Cucumber. Right. So, how do I join the training? Like, if you want to join the training, if you have made up your mind, you can go to my website, utpselenium.com. Okay. On this page, there is a contact trainer section. Right. Just click on that, fill out the form, and send me a message that you want to join the training, and you can join it. I'll contact you. You'll get a username and password to watch the videos. Okay. I hope those of you who have already registered for the training, they have got the username, password, and all everything. Okay. If you have not got this, let me know. All right. So we'll meet up tomorrow. I want to run Linux OS setup same. I have Java. Yes, it's the same setup, Srividya. Nothing different. This is because we are using Java. Java is a platform independent language. That's why Selenium with Java is famous. You can code on any platform, on any operating system, Mac, Windows, Linux. You can do anything. Okay. Tomorrow is again the last trial class. Okay. After that, if you want, you can join. All right. So yes, then yes, you'll have to only the paid users. They'll get the username, password, and everything. Okay. All right. Thank you. Is there any timings? No, there is no other timings. No, no. Okay. So in case you're interested to join the training, you can reach to the contact trainer link on the website. Yeah. Thanks. You will get the recorded URL